She scammed everyone in Pretoria until she scammed the wrong person. And what he did next destroyed her entire empire. Here's what happened. At 25 years old, Zinhle Mokoena had everything people in Pretoria dreamed about. Or at least that is what her followers believed. Every morning, Zinhle posted videos from expensive cafes in Manlane. She drove a white luxury car, wore designer clothes, carried handbags worth more than some people's annual salaries, and filmed herself stepping into five-star hotels. Her captions always sounded inspiring. Never be afraid to invest in yourself. Your mindset determines your bank balance. Stop making excuses. Start making money. And you know what? Nearly 400,000 people followed her. 400,000. Let that sink in. Young women wanted to become her. Young men wanted to date her. Businesses wanted her to advertise their products. And desperate people wanted to know her secret. Whenever someone asked how she became rich, Zinhle always smiled and said, "I know how to make money." But there was one problem. Almost none of the money was hers. Zinhle was a scammer, and she had become very, very good at looking successful. Her first major victim was Nomsa, a single mother from Soshanguve. Nomsa made homemade cakes in her small kitchen and dreamed of opening a proper bakery. One evening, she watched one of Zinhle's videos. "I've chosen 5 small businesses to help this month," Zinhle announced. "Pay me 15,000 rands and I'll promote your business to my followers. You'll get hundreds of customers." Nomsa believed her. She borrowed the money from her sister. She paid Zinhle. For the first week, everything looked perfect. Zinhle posted beautiful photographs of Nomsa's cakes. Comments flooded in. Nomsa waited for the customers. They never came. She called Zinhle. "Relax," Zinhle said. "Marketing takes time." Then she stopped answering. Nomsa lost her money. Zinhle bought another designer handbag. She just didn't care. The second victim was Mandla, a taxi driver from Mamelodi. Mandla wanted to expand his transport business. Zinhle told him she had connections with a company selling vehicles at discounted prices. "Give me 60,000 rands as a deposit," she promised. "I'll make sure the vehicle is registered in your name." Mandla trusted her. He transferred the money. Weeks passed, no vehicle. Then came the excuses. "There's a problem with the paperwork. The registration department is delayed. Give me another few days." Eventually, Zinhle's phone stopped working. Mandla went to the address on the invoice. There was no car dealership, no office, no employees, just an empty building. The entire company had been invented. Then came Thandi. Thandi was a talented young makeup artist with 12,000 followers. She wanted to become a professional influencer. Zinhle offered her a private mentorship. "Pay 8,000, she said, "and I'll teach you everything I know." Thandi paid. Zinhle gave her 3 online lessons, then she disappeared. When Thandi complained publicly, Zinhle attacked her, and of course, her followers attacked her too. She posted, "Some people want success without working for it." Thousands of Zinhle's followers attacked Tandy, poor Tandy. They called her jealous. They called her a failure. Eventually, Tandy deleted her social media account. She had lost 8,000 rands. But worse, she had lost her confidence. The fourth victim was Mrs. Dlamini. She was a retired teacher who had spent decades saving for retirement. Zinhle showed her screenshots of supposedly successful investments. "Put your money with me," she said. "We have a private investment group. Our members make profits every month." Miss Dlamini transferred 100,000 rands. Gosh, can you guys believe that? Every month, Zinhle sent her beautiful statements showing huge profits. But when Miss Dlamini asked to withdraw her money, everything changed. There is a tax problem. Then you need to pay a verification fee. Then there's an admission charge. Every solution required another payment. Eventually, Miss Dlamini understood. There was no investment. There were no profits. Her retirement savings were gone. That evening, she sat alone in her kitchen, staring at her bank statement, and for the first time in years, she cried. But Zinhle's biggest mistake was still coming. His name was Kabelo. Kabelo was a university student in Pretoria. He came from a modest family and worked part-time to pay for his studies. He dreamed of starting his own clothing brand. Then one afternoon, he saw Zinhle advertising something called the Student Business Accelerator. "I'm giving you entrepreneurs a chance," she said. "Pay 20,000 and I'll help you launch your brand, connect you with suppliers, and promote your business." Kabelo believed her. He emptied his savings. He borrowed money from his mother. He paid, then nothing. No suppliers, no promotion, no business launch. When Kabelo confronted Zinhle, she laughed. "You should have read the contract." Kabelo stared at her. There was no contract. Zinhle smiled. "Exactly." Then she blocked him. For a moment, Kabelo sat silently in his room. He had lost everything he had saved, but something inside him changed. He decided he wasn't going to beg Zinhle for his money back. No, he wasn't. He was going to find out exactly who she was. Let's find out what happened next. Kabelo started investigating. He contacted Nomsa, then Mandla, then Tandy, then Miss Dlamini. They had never met. But when they compared their stories, something became obvious. Different promises, different amounts, different victims, same woman. Same woman. Same woman. Kabelo created a private group chat. He called it The Victims. They started sharing screenshots, bank statements, voice notes, invoices, messages, fake contracts, investment documents. And then Kabelo discovered something shocking. There weren't 5 victims, there were dozens, possibly hundreds. Zinhle had built an entire online empire around lies, but Kabelo didn't confront her. He waited. Meanwhile, Zinhle's life looked better than ever. She moved into a luxury apartment. She bought another expensive car. She appeared on podcasts. She hosted glamorous events. Brands sent her free products. Her followers called her a self-made millionaire. She told young people, "Never let poor people convince you that you can't become rich." Thousands applauded. Nobody knew that behind the scenes, several of the people watching her videos were collecting evidence. Then Zinhle announced her biggest project yet, a massive event in Pretoria. the Zinhle Mokoena Wealth Summit. Hundreds of people bought tickets. She promised to reveal her secret formula for becoming wealthy. Kabelo watched the announcements on his laptop. Then he smiled because he knew something Zinhle didn't. Her biggest audience was about to become her biggest courtroom. Let us find out what happened next. The night of the event arrived. The conference hall was packed. Hundreds of people filled the seats. Phones were recording. Cameras were flashing. Then Zinhle walked onto the stage wearing a sparkling black dress. The crowd cheered. She smiled confidently. Tonight, she announced, I'm going to show you how ordinary people can become wealthy. The lights suddenly went dark. Zinhle stopped. The giant screen behind her went black. Then a photograph appeared. Nomsa, then Mandla, then Tandi, then Miss Dlamini, finally Kabelo. The audience became silent. One after another, the victims' stories appeared on the screen. Bank transferred, messages, invoices, fake contracts, investments, voice recordings, and then something even more damaging appeared. Zinhle had promised almost identical things to different people. The audience began whispering. Zinhle's smile disappeared. What is this? Then Kabelo walked onto the stage. The crowd gasped. He calmly approached her. You told me I should have read the contract. Zinhle stared at him. Kabelo lifted a thick folder. So, I read everything. He opened it, and I found something you forgot. The room became completely silent. The documents showed that several of Zinhle's supposed companies were not operating the way she had claimed. Some business addresses were false, some investment documents were fake, and financial records connected payments from victims to accounts associated with Zinhle. Zinhle's face went pale. Then the doors opened. Investigators entered the conference hall. The audience erupted. People raised their phones. Everyone started recording. For the first time in years, Zinhle had nowhere to hide. Nothing stays hidden under the sun, guys. Within months, Zinhle's glamorous life collapsed. Her luxury apartment was gone. Her expensive car was gone. Her designer clothes disappeared. Brands cut ties with her. Her social media pages were flooded with angry comments from former followers. The woman who once taught people how to become rich was now answering questions about missing money. But Kabelo and the other victims didn't stop there. They decided to turn their pain into something useful. They created an organization that helped young entrepreneurs recognize scams. Nomsa eventually opened a bakery. Mandla expanded his transport business. Tandi rebuilt her makeup career and became successful without Zinhle. Mrs. Dlamini began teaching retirees how to identify fraudulent investment schemes. And Kabelo, he finally launched the clothing company he had dreamed about. This time, he did everything properly. Within 3 years, his brand became successful, and he hired young people who had once been victims of online scams. Kabelo had lost 20,000 rands as a student. Can you imagine? But he gained something worth much more. He found his purpose, or at least that's what he thought. Guys, because one night, Kabelo was working late in his office when his phone buzzed. A unknown number. One message. You think you won? That was the message he got. Kabelo stared at the screen. Another message arrived. You only exposed the person you could see. Then a file appeared. Kabelo hesitated. He opened it. Inside was a photograph. Zinhle was sitting around a table with three wealthy businessmen. Behind them was a whiteboard. It was covered with names, companies, bank accounts, influencers, victims, and at the top were three words: Project Zinhle Phase 2. Gabelo's blood ran cold. He zoomed in. There was dozens of names. Then he saw something that made his heart stop. His own name. Underneath it were two words: next target. Kabelo slowly put down his phone. For 3 years, he had believed he was hunting the scammer. But suddenly, he realized something terrifying. Maybe Zinhle had never been the mastermind. Maybe she had only been the face. Maybe someone much powerful had been controlling everything from the shadows. And if that was true, the revenge hadn't ended. It had only just begun. Thank you guys for watching and for listening. Let us see what happens in part 2. What do you guys think? Do you think Zinhle is only trying to scare Kabelo? Do you think that maybe this is some sort of a syndicate? What do you guys think? Please let me know down in the comments what you think, and I will see you guys in part 2 very, very soon. Stay blessed. God bless. Love you guys.